Why wasn't the price surge for XRP way bigger? Like, massively bigger, after Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse revealed the SEC was dropping its appeal. Seriously, why was the reaction so underwhelming? I get it. XRP already had legal clarity, so this news doesn't change much for those of us paying attention. But here's the thing, the market bundles all of this together. Historically, whenever Ripple and the SEC make headlines, XRP's price reacts. Tired of fake gurus who claim to be expert traders but never trade live? I trade live on the second largest crypto exchange, where everything is transparent and results can't be faked. For over 440 days, I've consistently closed every month in profit. In the last 90 days alone, my followers have earned over $34,000 in profits, with only 4% drawdown. Verified results, not empty claims. Want to see my verified stats? Click the first link in my profile and start copying my trades for free today. I've always said the SEC has a bigger influence on XRP's price movements than Ripple ever could. So, what happened this time? Why didn't we see a bigger spike? Is there something fishy going on? Manipulation, maybe? I'll dive into that in a bit. But let me just say this up front. Honestly, I'm not shocked. If you've been following my thoughts up to this point, then you probably already know where I stand. But let me tell you, XRP's best days are still ahead, particularly in this market cycle. There's so much to discuss, including an intriguing story titled, "Here's Why the SEC Dropped Its Appeal Against Ripple Despite Ripple's Active Cross-Appeal." Now, here's the twist. Just because the SEC decided to back off doesn't mean Ripple is doing the same. There's a lot to unpack here, so let's dive in. But first, a quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial expert, and this isn't financial advice. Don't make any buying or selling decisions based on what I say. Just a few days ago, on March 19th, Brad Garlinghouse shared an electrifying update. His words, "This is it, the moment we've been waiting for. The SEC will drop its appeal. A resounding victory for Ripple, for crypto, and for the future. The road ahead is bright. Let's build." Stuart Alderoty, Ripple's chief legal officer, chimed in with his own powerful message. "Today, Ripple stands stronger than ever. This landmark case reshapes the crypto landscape. With the SEC stepping back, Ripple takes the wheel, ready to strategize our next steps with the cross appeal. But for now, let's celebrate this monumental win. It's a new chapter for Ripple and the entire crypto industry. Cheers to progress." This was one of the most fascinating moments yet. The very first post I came across after the news broke left me stunned. Wait, hold on. The SEC is calling it quits, but Ripple hasn't dropped the cross appeal? And get this, it wasn't even a condition for the SEC to back off? Mind-blowing. It's all down to a shift in leadership. The war on crypto? Over. If the SEC takes a beating because of this, so be it. Honestly, I couldn't be happier. Now, diving into the details, attorney Fred Rispoli has some intriguing insights about what could be unfolding behind the scenes in the Ripple lawsuit, especially after the SEC just threw in the towel on its appeal. The big development this week? The SEC stepping back from the cross appeal in the Ripple case. While they haven't officially announced this move yet, pro-crypto journalist Eleanor Tarrant predicts we'll hear confirmation after the SEC's closed-door meeting next week. Some folks are speculating that XRP hasn't skyrocketed yet because the SEC hasn't officially confirmed anything. Personally, I think that's nonsense, I really do. There's even an article sharing a community member's perspective titled, "Expert says XRP 10x rally will come soon, but not in 24 hours or within the next 24 hours. While I respect their take, I'll have to politely disagree. Here's the deal. Ripple is saying this because it's true. Honestly, there's probably 0% of people out there who think Ripple is making it up. That's as good as the SEC saying it themselves. So will the SEC confirming it cause some tiny pump? Maybe. But here's the thing. By the time they do, it's already baked into the price. We already know this. At the end of the day, I just don't think it changes anything in a meaningful way. Not one bit. You might have noticed the SEC hasn't made it official yet, and there's a reason for that. It still requires a formal vote. But let's be real. With the new administration in place, it's pretty clear which way the decision will swing. Now here's where it gets interesting. Ripple hasn't backed down either. Attorney Fred Rispoli, founder of Hodel Law and a familiar face in the XRP community, shared his take during a chat with Tony Edward on Thinking Crypto. Rispoli pointed out that the SEC dropping its appeal aligns with its recent behavior in other crypto cases. But with Ripple keeping its cross appeal alive, He suggested this could be part of a bigger chess game, the SEC's attempt to negotiate a settlement. Looks like there's more going on behind the scenes than meets the eye. This settlement centers on Ripple's XRP sales to institutional clients, deemed securities by the court. As a result, Judge Annalisa Torres fined Ripple $125 million and approved the SEC's request for a permanent ban on XRP institutional sales. Now, with the lawsuit's twists and turns, Attorney Raspoli speculates that settlement talks might lead the SEC to propose a reduced fine, if Ripple agrees to drop its cross-appeal. Raspoli also suggested the deal could include scrapping the permanent injunction on institutional XRP sales. That would be a huge win for Ripple, which has had to jump through hoops like using stablecoins for cross-border transactions instead of XRP, resorting to clunky workarounds like Tether for US-related operations. Frustrating? Absolutely. It's a reminder of how Judge Torres may have misjudged that part of the case. But there's good news. XRP holders got the outcome they wanted. XRP itself was ruled not a security. A big win, even if the road was bumpy. When it comes to what truly matters, Ripple came out on top. We won, plain and simple. But let's be real. It's ridiculous that these workarounds are even necessary, because Judge Torres made a questionable call on part of the case. I mean, come on, these transactions obviously don't pass the Howey test. We're talking about XRP being used as a bridge currency here. Transactions settle in 3 to 5 seconds. How in the world can anyone seriously consider that an investment of money with an expectation of profit? It's purely for utility, and trying to frame it otherwise just doesn't make sense. Let's face it, it's frustrating, and I know we all get that, but it's still absurd. It'd be great if Ripple could find a way to resolve this once and for all. Some kind of agreement to put these legal constraints behind them. Let's hope they work something out soon. Fingers crossed. According to Raspoli, this decision could open the door for Ripple to secure funds and file with the US SEC for an IPO. It seems like an eventuality, just a matter of when, not if. A Ripple IPO is on the horizon. Discussions about Ripple going public in the US have sparked debates, with many pointing to the ongoing SEC lawsuit as a potential roadblock. However, if both parties come to an agreement, as Raspoli suggests, it could set the stage for the highly anticipated IPO. For now, Ripple doesn't appear willing to settle for a reduced fine. CEO Brad Garlinghouse made it clear, negotiations with the SEC would need to wipe the slate clean, including dropping the $125 million fine and the permanent injunction. It's a bold stance, but Ripple seems ready to play the long game. Garlinghouse pointed out that the current SEC leadership now aligns with Ripple's stance, that the lawsuit should never have been filed to begin with. Ripple argues it's unfair to face penalties based on outdated court decisions. We're dealing with a completely different leadership now, he said. It's a whole new landscape compared to just a few months ago. Honestly, I never imagined we'd be here. Even knowing there might be a shift in administration, I couldn't have predicted this, where the SEC would drop an appeal and show willingness to back down, even if Ripple didn't. It's mind-blowing to me, truly astonishing. And as for why XRP didn't see a bigger pump, some are hinting at market manipulation. Honestly, I just don't buy that argument. Respectfully, I disagree. There's this XRP community member claiming low volume means manipulation, and that prices should have gone higher. Those kinds of takes. Here's the quote, "Make no mistake, price is being manipulated." Yeah, sure, but where's the proof? It's just speculation, nothing concrete. Here's the thing, when the market expects something to happen, it's already priced in. No pump. That's just how it works. And honestly, chart analyst Dom nailed it on this one. Check this out. Back on March 12th, 2025, just a week before Ripple announced the SEC dropping their appeal, Dom made his call. He shared exactly what he expected. And guess what? He was spot on. He truly gets this space, why market players act the way they do, and how it shakes up XRP's price. Case in point, he noted how XRP skyrocketed 100% in just 4 hours when the SEC ruled it wasn't a security. Remember that day? July 13th, 2023. It was wild. The price nearly doubled overnight. But now, things are playing out differently. Why? Dom explains, "Do I think we'll see the same thing this time? Not a chance. Back in July 2023, no one saw it coming. The market wasn't expecting it, and all eyes were on XRP alone." He's absolutely right. It was a total curveball, an outcome you'd hope for but couldn't predict. No one was pre-buying on speculation. Then, boom, the news dropped, and the coin exploded. But here's the thing, That's not the case this time. And honestly, that's why I've been saying for weeks now, it just doesn't matter. Sometimes, XRP can skyrocket on unexpected news, even if it's not directly related to the coin itself. Remember when I kept mentioning Gary Gensler? On November 21st, he announced his resignation, something I was almost certain would happen. The sheer market excitement over that news, despite it having nothing to do with XRP, triggered a huge pump. But here's the thing, the market feels different now. There's less hype, more fear, and it's showing in how XRP is behaving. Here's the kicker. Back in July 2023, no one saw it coming. The market wasn't prepared and focused entirely on the coin itself. Now it's a different story. With today's leak, confidence is running high that something big is on the horizon. If the market were blazing hot and the lawsuit was resolved, the impact would likely be massive because of the heightened risk appetite. But in this current environment, even if it drops in the next week, we'd be lucky to see a 20% bump. The bigger hope here is that Ripple's been holding back, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal some major developments they've been working on. If you think XRP has peaked, this could be your golden ticket for a timely exit. And wow, talk about a prediction aging like fine wine. It absolutely did. This aligns perfectly with what I've been saying all along on this channel. It just adds up. It's logical. Theories about manipulation or shady dealings? Nah, I don't buy it. That's not the right way to analyze what's happening here. Take a look around, folks. The signs were all there. Everyone knew to expect this. The SEC has been quietly dropping investigations and closing lawsuits left and right. This isn't some shocking twist. It's been building up right in front of us. Sure, the market saw a little bump, but expecting it to double overnight like when XRP got the legal green light? Not exactly realistic. This is just how markets work. Nothing shocking here. Let's skip the tinfoil hat theories about manipulation, especially when there's no real proof. XRP moved the way it did because, well, it made sense. Plain and simple. Oh, and by the way, I'm not a financial advisor. Seriously, don't make any big moves, buying, selling, whatever, just because of something I say or write. That would be a really, really, really bad call. Play smart, folks.